Hello, read it here. Today we're going to read a story from / Am I the Asshole? Now, for our first story. Am I the asshole for using flashcards to explain to my brother and his wife why they can't bring their rainbow baby to my wedding? My fiancé, F, and I are getting married. We've decided wedding's going to be child-free. No hate towards children, just to keep it more organized and contained. My brother Chris, M, and his wife, F, have a 3-year-old son who everyone calls Miracle or Rainbow Baby. He came after several failed pregnancies that lasted for years. When they found out that my nephew was included in the no children rule, they tried to convince me to make an exception for him. Chris told me his son is a miracle baby and his presence at the wedding will bring blessings for me and my fiancée. I refused and said no, the wedding is child-free. His wife kept sending my fiancé pics of my nephew when he was months old. What that mean? I told him no and to stop. My brother told me this might cause a rift in our relationship. I again said no and explained that the wedding is child-free. He asked again and pointed out how his baby is different since he's a rainbow, a miracle baby. I again said no and explained that the wedding is child-free. They brought it up when they visited at my home, and I knew they weren't going to stop. So I'd made flashcards in advance with the phrase, "The wedding is child-free," period, and pulled them out and started slowly showing them the flashcards one by one in this order. The wedding, with a sticker of bride and groom, is child, with a sticker of a baby. FRE, with a sticker of an NO sign. Period, with a huge black dot sticker. They both were stunned. I asked if they get it now, and Chris had lost his shit. His wife had already grabbed her stuff and walked out. Chris called me an asshole for doing this and said that I disrespected him, his wife, and their son who's my one and only nephew. He rushed out after we argued. My fiancé saw the whole thing and thought that it was funny, but my parents and Chris are livid beyond measure. They're telling everyone about the amount of disrespect and mockery I had displayed towards them, and I'm being told to fix it now. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Well, I suppose you could have used hand puppets instead, but flashcards seem to have gotten a message across. It makes me insane how some parents think their little bundle of joy should be allowed anywhere, anywhen, anytime, and that no never applies to them. It's pretty clear they were going to run this horse right up to the altar. Not the asshole. Comment 2. Look, OP, I'm infertile. I wanted kids all my life. Me and hubby tried for years. It will never happen. Trying almost killed me, so I had to choose. Keep trying and die, or stop. I would have loved to help hold the flashcard for you. Hell, I would have gone full-blown interpretative dance for you, if that is what it took to get it through their thick skulls that the wedding is going to be child-free. It's your wedding, your rules. Not the asshole at all. Yes, after all the pain and struggle they went through, after all the losses they suffered, your nephew is a miracle. But so is every child that is born. And every child can also be an annoying little shit that gets cranky and tired and bored when adults are doing boring adult things like weddings. It doesn't make you an asshole to not want cranky toddlers at your wedding having meltdowns. And it doesn't make you a bad uncle to save your nephew from the meltdowns. Nor a bad brother to give brother and S-Gel a fucking night off away from their 3-year-old. If he was only 3 months and you were getting pissy because they wouldn't come without him, then yeah, you would be a bit of an asshole. But he's 3 years old. He can handle a babysitter watching him. Heaven help the child when he starts school. Comment 3. I am dying of laughter that after getting the no, the parents started sending baby pictures like that would turn the tide. These people have genuinely lost the plot. Babies are cute, we know this, but no one is that gaga over someone else's kid. My daughter was an adorable baby. Keeping people from touching her chonky cheeks when we were out and about was a full-time occupation. She even won a full month of free diapers in a cute baby contest. Don't judge, LOL. Free stuff is awesome. As cute as she was / is, I didn't go out waving her around like a backstage VIP pass. We're bonkers over our own babies so that we keep them alive even when they drive us nuts. The cuteness bubble extends no further, LOL. Now, for our second story. Am I the asshole for asking my brother not to bring his boyfriend to my wedding? Okay, this is the worst. I'm losing sleep over this. I'm getting married in a week to an awesome woman, and I cannot wait to be her husband. We are so excited. My brother is gay, but my family doesn't know. Only me and my parents know. I come from a very old-school, traditional family. So the old part of the family, grandparents, and some aunts/uncles still have last century's mind, and the younger portion, cousins/siblings, are open-minded and are living in the present. So my brother has been dating his BF for 6 months now. The dude is great. I'm so happy my brother found a great guy. But it's kind of a secret, as he hasn't told my family he is gay. I've been telling him for years that he should come out, because I know it stresses him a lot. And I think it will make him feel better not to hide anymore. Plus, I bet a few family members already know anyway. But he disagrees, cause he knows a part of the family won't accept it, and it will be a lot of drama. I see the opposite. I see it as the sooner you know who the idiots are, the sooner we can cut them from our lives. I have no interest in having someone in my life that doesn't accept my brother being gay. Anyway, that's his decision, not mine. So for now, he won't say anything. Until a few weeks ago, when he said he wants to bring his BF to my wedding. I was not expecting that, to be honest. So he went from 0 to 100 pretty fast. If it was any other occasion, I would be supportive, obviously, but I don't think my wedding day is the day to do that. Imagine all the drama and gossip and bullshit that would happen. And I don't want to get the attention away from my fiancée. That's her day. And I don't want to have to worry about that on my wedding day. And I think it's a pretty good reason. I asked him why my wedding day. He said it's because he wants to celebrate love with the two people he loves the most, me and his boyfriend. This is killing me. I would fight my whole family for my brother and never speak to them again if I had to. But my wedding day is supposed to be a celebration, not a family fight. And I can't do this to my wife. That might ruin our future. I didn't even tell her. She is already stressed out, don't want to make it even worse. With a heavy heart, I asked him to please come alone to the wedding, and that I hope he understands me. He started crying and left my house without saying anything. Next day I got a text, and he said, "Don't worry, going alone." I tried calling him, but he didn't answer me. And my parents don't seem to know what's happening because they didn't say anything. He eventually called me back a few days later. We spoke. He said he understands my side, but things are still weird between us. This is the worst situation of my life. Am I the asshole for handling it the way I did? Update. Spoke to fiancé. Couldn't keep this from her anymore. She agreed with me. Clarification. I know it won't be my brother that would cause trouble. The trouble would start with remarks and looks from some aunt/uncle. Doesn't matter. We are spending a lot of money on this wedding. Planned it for a long time. My fiancée put her heart and soul into planning this wedding. I don't want to see my bride or mom crying or some idiot uncle insulting my brother. Literally every other day of my life, I will support my brother's decision to come out. Even at the wedding, I would obviously defend him. But the point is, not at the wedding. Also, my brother is not the asshole. Not at all. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Not the asshole. God, I'm queer, and I gotta say, a Sib's wedding would not be the place to trot out that bit of my life. It's your wedding, it's your day. Although I have to say, if your wife is level-headed, she wouldn't let a family fight ruin your relationship. Did you talk to her about this? Comment 2. Agreed. Almost all wedding etiquette comes down to don't upstage the couple. It's too bad there isn't more time, because if he was actually able to come out beforehand, bringing his boyfriend to the wedding would have been fine. People will still talk, but it wouldn't stop the show. Comment 3. Fully agreed, not the asshole. It sounds like your brother really values your protection and support about this issue. I wonder if part of why he is having this admittedly bad idea is because he feels that if he comes out on your turf and you show support for him, it will protect him and make letting the broader family know easier. Maybe you could suggest hosting a party or event soon where he could bring his boyfriend to. That way he gets to feel supported and protected by you, but not take up your and your fiancé's wedding day. Congratulations, BTW. Now, for our third story. Am I the asshole for yelling at my girlfriend to stop fucking eating? My M26 sister, F23, runs a bakery business, and she's been struggling lately to keep up with orders because she's been short-staffed. She does a lot of orders for wedding cakes that require custard or marmalade fillings, and I offered to help her out by making these fillings at home and bringing them to her, so she has less work to do. Unfortunately, the past 4 times I've made these fillings, my girlfriend, F24, has literally dipped her fingers into the filling jars and contaminated them because, in her words, she just wanted to try some. I've tried explaining to her that she can't dip her fingers in and contaminate the entire batch, because then I have to remake it. I said she should use a spoon and take some out if she wants to try so bad, but she just pouts and says that she likes using her fingers because it takes her back to her childhood. Today, I was trying to finish some chocolate custard to send it over to my sister really fast because she was running late on a wedding cake order for an important client. I told my girlfriend beforehand to not eat the custard, and if she really wanted to please use a spoon. I get out of the shower, and what do I see? She has her fingers in it again. I totally lost it because this is the 5th time she blatantly disregarded what I said, and I yelled at her and told her to stop fucking eating the food I'm making because it's not for her, and she's contaminating it. She started crying and got mad at me for fat shaming her, even though I made no comment on her weight, and she has no history of weight issues or eating disorders. I know I was harsh, but she kept pushing my limits. Am I the asshole? Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Does she also wear a diaper and draw on the walls with crayons because it reminds her of her childhood? Not the asshole. Comment 2. Let her catch you in the act, so to speak, using her expensive lotions/creams, and tell her stop shaming me. It takes me back to my childhood. Comment 3. Dump her ass because she's gross. Yuck. Who knows what else she stuffs her grimy fingers into. Now, for our 4th story. Am I the asshole if I stop paying my daughter's tuition over a disgusting comment she made towards my new girlfriend? My 56M wife died at the young age of 51 from a car accident. I was in deep mourning for about a year after her death. I met my new GFC 43F around January. She was the one who made me laugh for the first time after my wife died. She's smart as hell, 3 Ivy League degrees, has a dark sense of humor that I love, a terrific cook, and overall an amazing woman who I can imagine spending the rest of my life with. She is also on the heavier side, a fact that becomes relevant later. I have 2 children, E, 25M, and A, 19F. They were well aware that I had gotten a new GF before I first introduced them to C this summer. She got along immediately with E, but it was very, very standoffish. After that initial meeting, I asked A if there was something wrong, but she denied it. She made a few more attempts to get to know, but they were all rudely rejected. E and A both came home for Thanksgiving dinner. I asked A to please be polite during the meal, since she's always been rude in her interactions with C, even though C has been nothing but gracious in return. The dinner was going as well as it could have for the first 10 minutes, although I noticed a glaring at C the entire time. When C went to grab her 3rd helping of mashed potatoes, it said, "Don't you think you've eaten enough, you fat pig?" C started sobbing immediately and ran off into the bedroom. I felt my face turn red and told A to get out. About half an hour after I left, I texted her stating that I would no longer pay her tuition unless one. She apologized to C and 2. C accepts her apology. I must have assumed that I was bluffing because she instead doubled down on her behavior during Thanksgiving dinner. I then logged into her university's tuition payment website, canceled next semester's tuition, and sent her the screenshots. She called me crying and begging me to reconsider, but I told her my mind was made up. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Esh. Something more is undoubtedly going in between C and A. You need to find out why A has such a strong dislike of her and reacted so strongly. A is probably still deep in mourning for her mother. You've managed to put your grief behind you, but the process is much slower for some people. Seeing C in her mother's place at Thanksgiving was probably very hard on your daughter. That doesn't excuse her rudeness, but it might explain it. Secondly, you've made your daughter's tuition dependent on C accepting her apology. As the fees are something between you and your daughter, that's not appropriate, especially as C seems to be the issue here. Edit. When I say C is the issue, I mean the relationship C and A have, not C herself. Comment 2. Yes, OP, as someone who has been the daughter in almost this exact situation, please understand how truly terrifying it is to be a teenager lose one parent, and then have your only remaining parent meet someone else really fast, and suddenly make that new person's needs and happiness a priority over your own. My dad and stepmom also encouraged me to talk with them about my feelings, but I didn't want to share my feelings with a woman I had basically just met, and then I was punished later for it in much the way you were expressing, saying that daughter had the chance to share her true feelings, but didn't. I have been the daughter whose father chooses a new woman, and suddenly I'm a brat for being scared and unhappy and not very nice. I have had my dad make my relationship with him contingent on my relationship with a woman I barely knew. It sure didn't teach me a lesson. It just made me feel really alone, sad, and resentful. Frankly, if you expect to bring a new woman into your life so soon after your wife's passing and have it go totally hunky-dory with your daughters, you're not thinking realistically and placing unfair expectations on your daughters. Though obviously speaking so rudely is over the line, your daughter actually has every right to be having a hard time with this. Also, please recognize that while it's so wonderful you've learned to love again and you want to share this goodness with your children, your daughters do not have the option to find new mom. They will never meet some wonderful woman to fill that empty hole for them and build anew. Opie, your daughter needs you to be there for her. You may not feel like you can help her. Maybe your wife was the one who used to know how to do these things, have these talks. You may not feel like your daughter needs you, but she does. Punishing her like this is only going to drive her away from you. Please just talk to her. Comment 3. Another point, Opie never mentioned whether or not his daughter is attending college locally or in another city/state. Imagine the feeling she would be going through leaving for college, everything being more or less how it was when mom was alive, and coming back to this. New woman, probably new pictures on the wall of their dates, some of her stuff in the house. She's sitting in mom's chair. I imagine her thought process upon seeing it all went something like this. How fucking dare he? She's your wife? I loved her and I'm still torn up about this. How could you just replace her? Her excuse if she just doesn't like her is pretty telling too. It's possible she just doesn't understand her feelings right now, either because she's young or she's in a swirling vortex of emotions and can't grasp at anything solid other than hurt, anger, and negativity. It's also possible she knows exactly why she doesn't like her and isn't saying anything because she doesn't think there's any point in trying to explain it to Opie. I hope Opie reads these comments and understands she's still coming to terms with her mom's death. You want to punish her for lashing out? Sure, fine. Don't fuck up her education. The way the world is going that could set her up for failure, and coercing a false apology out of her won't help anyone. Grief counseling and her family counseling are definitely cards you should consider. And limit interaction between your daughter and new GF. It's not her fault she feels that way. And seeing you two together is just rubbing salt in a still open wound. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more.